Welcome back, guys. So today we have this Golden Tech TV. It was brought to me because it is not displaying anything, and the first thing I'm going to do is to check whether the TV is receiving any power, because you can see it has an indicator down here which lights up red in case the TV is turning on. So that is the first thing that I'm going to do to check whether the TV is receiving any power. So I'm going to plug in the TV to my sockets. The socket is on. On this side you can see there is no red lights. You can see there is no red light anywhere on the TV. So these symptoms shows can be caused by so many things. One, we can have a dent fuse on the plug. You can have a dent fuse on the plug. You can have a faulty power supply, like that is the power supply that is converting the 220 volts AC from the mains to around 12 volts that is being used by our TV. So the first thing that I'm going to check is whether the fuse is okay. The fuse is positioned in the plug, so that will be my first thing to check using my multimeter. If the fuse is okay, then we are going to open up the TV. But also, if the fuse is not okay, remember in most cases you get to find that if the fuse is broken, it might have been caused by something that happened inside the TV. So even if the fuse is not okay, I'm not just going to replace the fuse. I'm going to open the TV and then check using the multimeter if everything inside is okay. So let me get my multimeter. So I have my multimeter on display. It is set to diode mode, the beeping mode, and then we have the plug fuse. So first I'm going to check whether my multimeter is working. You can see high resistance. Let me reset it. I need to see around 0 ohms. 0.0222 is enough, is good to check. So on one side of the fuse and the other side of the fuse. So that means the fuse is okay. So I'll proceed to open the TV and check the power supply. That will be the first thing to check when I open the TV, to check whether we are getting the voltages on the power supply. So let me get the TV, open it up. So as I open the TV, somebody might be asking, where did you get to learn everything that you do? Electronics repair, I learned it on YouTube, and some of my friends do this as a full-time job. But mainly, I can say most of the things I learned from YouTube, There's this channel, Electronics Repair School, by somebody known as Solin. That guy, I can say he has taught me what I know today, together with somebody else who know called Hussein. That is Northridge Fix. I used to watch those videos. I think I have watched almost all their videos, trying to see the process that they take when fixing electronics. So in case you want to learn something, nowadays everything is on the internet. You can just go and Google or get to YouTube and search whatever you are trying to fix, because probably the problem that you are facing, somebody else has faced it before. And in this line of job, you get to find similar problems coming back, the same problems, the same electronics problems, very common. There are some problems which are common, so you will not be facing it alone. Somebody else probably has tackled the same repair that you are taking. So we have vast variety of resources on our internet. And also, if you get to find somebody who is good in repairs, you can spend some time with them as you learn. This is a great job, especially for university students, because especially in Kenya, life here is tough, so we need to find a way to support ourselves as students. So yeah, it is a good side hustle, by the way, to train yourself. At least you'll be earning something. You'll be able to support yourself in school. You know, comrade life is very tough. So this is a good side hustle to start. Okay. Then as I open, I have noticed something that I did not see before on this TV when it came. It has a switch and the switch is off. So meaning that might be the case. That might be the reason why we did not see any red light on the indicator. So before I continue, I'm going to turn it on and then turn the switch on, because when the customer came, I was told that the TV is turning on, but it is not producing anything on the display. But if you listen carefully, you can hear some sound coming from the TV. So I can term this job as with sound but no picture. So before I even continue opening the TV, I'll first check. I'll turn it on, then check whether the indicator is turning on as the customer said. Still with the TV plugged in and trying to turn it on, we have nothing. There is no red lights on the indicator. Trying to press the button, trying to press the power button, Still nothing. So I'll continue to open the TV. The TV is open now. So you can see the power cable. Okay, first plug out the TV. Remember, we are dealing with high voltage, so you need to be very careful when doing the repairs. So you can see the power comes here. The live wire goes through the switch, then back to the motherboard. So first I'll check to see, this is the power circuit, this is the power supply of this TV. Then we have the digital board. This is what brings the picture and receives the signal from the antenna. Then this receives the power and produces the right voltages that are required by the TV. So the first thing I'm going to check is whether all the components look okay. But remember, this side, this is the power supply, especially this capacitor might be charged because we have just plugged, we unplugged in the TV to the mains. So the first thing I'm going to check is whether the capacitor is discharged using my multimeter. So I'll set the multimeter to voltage, DC voltage of around 500. Then how am I going to check? So I'm going to check the terminals, the capacitor terminals, to see whether it is fully discharged. The multimeter is set to DC voltage around 500 volts. You can see we have -6 volts, so the capacitor is fully discharged. So from there we are safe to work on the board. Very safe to work on the board. So what I will do next is to check whether every component in the motherboard looks okay. So the capacitor, the capacitor is not bulged. The capacitor is not bulged, so meaning the capacitor is okay. The next thing I'm going to check is the switching MOSFET. This is the switching MOSFET, the MOSFET that switches the voltage. Remember, this is a switching power supply. So we have a switching MOSFET or power MOSFET that switches the incoming rectified, because I believe we have a bridge rectifier on the other side which rectifies the AC to DC. Then the DC on this side is switched at high frequencies by this transistor, so that now it is stepped down by the transformer. So the first thing I'm going to check is whether the switching MOSFET is okay before I plug it back to the mains, to check whether all the voltages that are coming or that are at the output are okay. So let me check whether the power MOSFET is okay. So set the multimeter to diode mode, or the continuity or the beeping mode. You can hear when I connect the two probes, the multimeter is beeping. So I'll check from this is the, I believe, the base to this pin. We are okay. We are getting high resistance, so meaning this pin is not shortened to this pin and also not shortened to this pin. This pin is not shortened to this pin. We are getting infinite resistance, so the power MOSFET is okay. So the other thing I'm going to check is whether there is a short circuit between the capacitor terminals. We have no short circuits. Then at the output capacitor, I'm going to check whether we have any short on the terminals. We are getting infinite resistance, so we are okay. This is an inductor, so we are supposed to hear a beep, because remember, an inductor is a wire, a low resistance wire that is connected in such a way that it will behave like an inductor. So we are expecting to hear a beep sound at the end of it. So I'm going to check whether the diodes are okay. On this side we are getting 277. Then changing the probes, we are getting infinite resistance. The same, 277. Then we're getting infinite resistance. So from the look of it, the power supply is okay. So I can now plug it in and test whether the output voltages, I don't know whether it is labeled the voltage that we are expecting, but at the end of it you can see we have two red wires, then we have two yellow wires, and we have two black wires. Two black wires, these are the negatives, then the red wires are the positive. I don't know what is being powered by the yellow wires, but you can see all those wires are coming to the digital board. Here you can see it's coming to the digital board. So I'm going to check whether all these voltages are present before proceeding to the next step. So I'll set my multimeter. I'll set my multimeter to voltage around 200 volts. Then switch on the TV, switch off the TV, then plug it to the mains, switch it on, then test. Don't know whether you can be able to see well. On the first one, you're getting nothing. The second one, okay, is the TV turned on or off? So on the first one we are getting 12 volts. The second one we are getting 12 volts. The yellow wires we are getting 12. The other one we are getting 12. So it means that the power circuit is okay, because we are getting the 12 volts on the board. Even the indicator is on. we have done something that has turned the indicator on. So let me try and press the power button. The indicator has just turned off. I don't know why. Let me switch off first, then turn it on again. And now the indicator is not turning on again. We have done something that has made the indicator to turn on. You can see right now is not turning back, so I'll try to see what we have done. We have done something that has made the indicator to turn on. So let me check something which is turning on. So it is turned on at the moment. So let's check the voltages once more. Well, in that condition, so I don't know how I'm going to display the voltages on the multimeter. So black, on the black two cables, these are negative for the ground. So I'm going to place one of my multimeter probes on one of the black cables, then check, we get 0 volts. So there is something that is happening, that is turning on the TV and off. Right now on all the wires we are getting 0 volts. So what I'm going to test now first, I'm going to test the high voltage capacitor around, these capacitors around 400. When if the power is connected, it has around 400 volts. So I'm going to set my multimeter to 500 volts DC, then check whether we have the voltage here, and we have 0 volts. So what that means is we have a problem on the connection on the mains where we have plugged the TV. So let me try to see. We have nothing on the indicator. The indicator is there. We have blue lights. Why do we have blue lights? Then we have red lights. Then let me try to turn it on. We have blue lights, so meaning the TV is on, the TV is off. The TV is on, the backlights are on. The backlights are on. You can check and see. The TV is on, but as you can see, the screen section, one of the screen section is broken. The TV came that way because you can see a broken flame right just where the screen is cracked, meaning the TV fell one time, but you can see the TV is flickering. So we need to fix that before we continue. So the customer did not mention anything about the screen being cracked, but it is very evident that the TV fell at one time. So you can see around here the flame is cracked, meaning the TV fell on this side. So we are going to check whether we can be able to fix the flickering of the TV. Why is it flickering that way? I don't know whether you can be able to see well, but you can see the TV flickering. So that is what I'm going to fix. Then inquire from the customer whether the screen was broken before. But even by the look of it, you can see the flame is cracked at this position, that position where the screen has cracked. So since this TV has been off quite a time, almost 1 year, so many things might have happened without the customer noticing. So we can check on the flickering. Why is it flickering? Then we are going to continue. But before, the customer told me that the TV was not displaying anything. So it is very evident that we had a problem with the power connector that is getting to the main board. It was loose, and that's why the screen was not displaying anything, and the button was not the indicator was not turning on, because we had a problem with the connector. Maybe you can try and turn it off and see whether it will turn on once more. You can try that. So I'm going to turn it off. The TV is off. Turn it on. It's turning on with the LED lights, pressing the power button, turning blue. The backlights, you can see the backlights are on. So when the customer brought the TV, the backlights and the indicator were not turning on, and that was the initial problem with the TV. But again, we have seen that the screen is flickering, so we are going to fix that. And how are we going to fix that? In case you see the screen flickering, you are going one of these connectors. You can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These connectors, one of the pins might be loose, and in case one of the pin is loose, that's why you get that flickering, because we have a loose connection. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to place each of these down as I check whether there is any change on the screen. That will be my first step on fixing the flickering problem. The customer had mentioned that the TV, before switching off completely, that is last year, it had that issue. They used the TV with the same problem. So we have managed to turn on the TV. We have managed to fix. You can see it was not plugged in very well. As we tried to measure the voltages, I believe we plugged it in. So in case you have a TV with the same symptoms as we started, the first thing you do, you start with the fuse, then you go to the power circuit, which is this board. In some TVs, it is separate with the main board, like this one. In others, the power circuit and the main board are integrated as one board. So if it is separate as this one, you need to check whether the power circuit is okay. But be careful with the high voltage capacitor, because we have almost 400 volts on that capacitor, so be careful with it. Then if the capacitor is free discharged, you check the power MOSFET. If the power MOSFET is okay, you check the output diodes, whether they are okay, these two diodes. That's why the reason why we have two diodes is because at the end of it, we have two red wires carrying 12 volts. So it means that this is a two power supply. It is outputting two voltages, that is 12 volts. And that's why we have the 12 volts coming back here. Then I believe that these are the standby power cables. This is what sets the signals if you place the power button to the main board, that is the power board, that the TV is switched off, so that it can be able now to regulate the amount of current that it was delivering to the TV while it was on. So the main board, since we can see the image on the screen, it means that the main board is okay and there is no problem with that. So this is the TCON board. This is what ensures us to see an image on the screen. So in case we have a problem with the image on the screen, this is the board to check. This is the board to check. So like, for example, right now, we are having a flickering problem. So the board to check is this one. We call it the TCON board. So I'm going to check by pressing each of these connectors while I'm viewing the change, whether there is a change on the screen, to see whether the flickering stops. After I have identified the problem, if it is in these connectors, then I'm going to use a tape to try and place it down, because you cannot be able to solder these cables down. They come that way from the manufacturer. So far I have not seen any method of trying to, in case the connector is ripped, I have not seen any method of trying to fix that. In case you have, please, you can share on the comments and let me know whether we have a method that is used to solder these connectors on the TCON. So let us check the connectors first. So hello guys. So after reviewing the picture, I have realized that the screen is damaged. The problem is the screen. The broken screen is the issue, because even after pressing the buttons, there is nothing that is being displayed on the screen. So the screen needs to be replaced before anything else. Actually, that might be the initial problem. I have to communicate with the customer back and get to know the true story. Sometimes customers never give you the whole story. So I'm going to communicate with the customer and tell the customer that the TV requires a new screen. Then from there, the flickering has stopped after pressing the second cable. the flickering has stopped. Remember, you can remember what the screen was doing before. So the flickering has stopped, but the TV requires a new screen. You can see it's broken down from here. But look at what I was saying before. We have a broken frame. This is a broken frame, and it is broken just as the screen is cracked. So this TV requires a new screen. So guys, that is what we go through as a repair technician, because now we cannot be able to continue with the repair without doing a screen replacement. So thank you guys for watching. Again, remember, if you have a TV that is totally not displaying anything on the board, you can check whether the plug, the fuse is okay, the power circuit, whether it is outputting the right voltages, whether the voltage is stable, because in some you'll get to see the voltage fluctuating, and in that case you can go and check the capacitors whether they are okay, the output capacitors whether they are okay, or whether the inductor is okay. If everything is okay, then you can continue to the main board. But in any TV, in case you find that the issue has progressed to the main board is the green one. If a problem has progressed to the main board, then the chances of fixing that TV are very minimal. So guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, share my videos. Thank you.